Fidelity is out with a survey that says 55% of working Americans are in fair or poor condition of covering essential expenses in retirement. With me today to talk about that is John Sweeney. He's the Executive Vice President of Retirement and Investing Strategies at Fidelity. John, thanks so much for being here with me.
Joe, thanks for having me.
So John, why are people having all this trouble?
Well, as you might imagine, so we've come through a period of economic turmoil. People are challenged with low interest rates, and they're trying to figure out how to solve for retirement. So we looked at 2,200 people, put them through a rigorous program, much like our guidance interactions that we run every day with millions of investors, and asked them, what are you saving, how are you allocated, and what are your essential expenses in retirement?
And what were you finding in that with those different questions?
We looked at the different age cohorts. So clearly young investors have a long time to save, which is great, but we found that they weren't saving enough and they needed to be more aggressively invested. They've got a long time horizon before they actually retire, so they had the ability to earn more from their investments through equity allocations and increasing the equity portion of their portfolio.
What's the number one idea that you preach in terms of telling people how they should prepare for retirement?
So time is the biggest driver. And for young investors, clearly they've got time on their side. But even for people approaching retirement, considering could you work a few more years, that has a very significant impact on the success of your retirement plan if you can extend your working time horizon and actually delay taking Social Security for a few years.
I mean, you're talking a decade, 2 or 3 years?
It depends. So how much time do you have? Clearly, if you're in retirement planning stages and you're 64, 65 and about to retire, if you can extend that for a few years, that's significant success. If you can taper your working career and have a secondary career for the first few years of retirement, again, that improves your odds dramatically.
And so you lead into really a big question here is what about the people who are at retirement age? Is it different for them now than it was for, say, their parents?
Absolutely. So today's retirees are faced with a low interest rate environment. They've had the downturn of the 08, 09 time frame that they've recovered from, hopefully, but their retirement's going to be different because their parents probably had a pension and Social Security made up a significant portion of their pre-retirement income. Today's retirees are faced with solving a lot more of that on their own.
So bottom line here, all we hear all the time is, oh, it's terrible. Retirement now is nothing like it used to be. Is all the fear correct, or should we be a little less worried than they're trying to make it out to be?
The silver lining is that there are levers you can pull. There are action steps you can take. And if you pull several of them now, even at no matter what age cohort you're in, you can achieve a good measure and increase your probability of covering those essential expenses in retirement.
All right. John Sweeney, thanks so much for being with us.
Joe, thanks for having me.
For The Street, I'm Joe Dell.